Howdy, y'all. It's your boy Q, and today I'm going to make a case for the humble Fender Frontman. Let's get to it.
If you made it this far, welcome to the Q Show. Gonna learn a thing, it's probably in the title.
Alright, so first things first, the story. So why do I have one of these? Well, truth is, I've always wanted one, but I just could not be brought to spend what they were going for in the used market. And I was so lucky that if you've seen my Strat video where I modified the Strat, that person actually gave me this amp. Super grateful. I've always wanted one because in my heart, I believed that maybe if we gave it the right cabinet, it would sound at least halfway decent, maybe amazing. So, here's what we did. It is hilariously crude, but I added a little receiving thing, added a pretty nasty amount of hot glue, but it does work. Speaker cable. We now have an external cabinet connected to this, and it sounds pretty damn good. I'm excited to show y'all. First things first, one thing that became apparent upon adding it to a new cab was it's a little louder than I thought it was. It's called 15, but when you look in the back, it pretty clearly states 38 watts for the output, so it's definitely pushing. And when you consider that the difference between 50 and 100 watts is 1 order of magnitude or 3 decibels, it's pretty damn loud. It's not as loud as my 100-watt amps, duh, but it's definitely loud enough to play out with. If you hook this to an external cab, you are good to go. So that was pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Second thing is, it sounds pretty good. I was looking at the schematic, and it's entirely op-amp based, so it's a little drier in the tradition of the Music Man amps. Those are transistor as well. Those are op-amp as well, as opposed to the transistors using like a Randall amplifier, to kind of give you an idea of what type of solid state it is. Super clean, and yeah, it does the thing. Let's hear the clean tone real quick. Same guitar as always, and also as always with my amp videos, I'm gonna be behind the amp slightly awkwardly. Sorry. All right, so clean tone. One thing that became apparent to me is the EQ is definitely voiced for the little speaker it comes with, and that's okay. The low end's a little boomy for it, but that's nothing we can't fix with like an EQ pedal or something like that. I do plan on digging into this and modifying it to be like a really nice amplifier for practical use. And I guess there'll be a video on that in the future. For now, we're just celebrating how cool it is all by itself. So, clean tone. Then some thump. Does the thing. I don't mind that transient. People accuse solid state amps of being like lifeless and dry. I feel like that's pretty friendly. One thing about the clean channel is it does distort on my medium high gain pickup. Which I thought was interesting. I don't mind a little bit of grit. I guess that's kind of, I don't know. I guess it has to do something. It can't just be entirely clean. Then people would accuse it of being lifeless. So there's our clean channel, but this is what I've been waiting to show you. Dude, the solid state channel, the distortion channel is ridiculous. It's just so chuggy. I love it. Let's lower the gain a little bit. If we do something like that. All right, so the way it breaks up in those like medium, and I definitely wouldn't put it up with like a tube amp. I mean, that's not what they're really for. But it definitely gets the job done. That's not so bad. Like the medium crunch is okay, but as you can see on the amp, I'm basically on like 0.5. It's meant to be basically some flavor fully saturated. And this is what it excels at. Cool. One last little bonus thing. You may have seen the HM-2 video coming out that Ola did, and it got me thinking about the chainsaw sound. And my understanding is the original story is someone put a HM-2 into a DS1, and that got you the chainsaw effect. And I was trying to think of and then I thought of like how the PV Bandit is known for chainsaw tones. And I was like, what do all these things have in common? And what they have in common is something involving a op amp and diodes, which, I mean, granted, is pretty generic. But my theory is that if you can get a op amp really screaming, it creates that chainsaw tone. Even in my L5 amplifier, when I add the multi-filter, which is entirely op amp based, with the HM2 you start getting a chainsaw-ish growl that's absent before that. So I think I might be onto something. But let's hear what this sounds like with the HM2. So let's add the gain channel back. All right, let's check this out. How stupid is that? I love it. Obviously not a Swedish death metal guitar player, but I do love that sound. It just grabs you. Big fan. And this amp, in my opinion, can totally get it, which is pretty cool considering it's an amp that most people probably throw out. I guarantee you there's at least one person that's going to watch this and be sad that they literally threw this in the trash. So with any luck, we'll prevent more of that from happening. All right, and there we have it. What did you think? I came into this pretty hopeful, but even still, this exceeded all my expectations. Were you convinced? If you got something to say it in the comments. I'd put that gain channel against a lot of high gain tube amps. As always, thank you for watching. I'm Q, and this is The Q Show.